All right there, everyone. Great to be back with you. We've got Bob Kula of Trade Genius Academy visiting with us again. Bob and I chatted just last month. This is actually our third chat. And each time we've gotten some great feedback from you. Again, I could still remember the first time we talked. This is right when the coronavirus was just breaking out. And one of the best comments I got, I think, again, a testimonial. Bob is used to some wonderful testimonials from people who've been working with him. One of those great testimonials for the conversation was finally an adult conversation about the coronavirus, which at the time was really getting hyped up and a lot of hysterics around it. And Bob just has this really kind of long-term approach, very steady, very sober. If you're not familiar with Bob, he's the founder and president of Trade Genius Academy. He started Trade Genius back in 2015 after 25 years as an executive for 2 Fortune 500 companies in the financial services industry. And Bob's strength is that he's able to see around the corners and position his trades into the right markets and sectors. And that's earned him over the past 5 years a 65% overall win record in the market. So he's here once again to help us make some financial sense of this coronavirus pandemic and possibly a post-pandemic economy as well. And so, Bob, welcome back. It's great to have you with us.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you, really. We very appreciative. Our channel really enjoys your insights. All right, let's get started. We've got some really, Bob, you're in the land of fruit and nuts in California there. And so let's talk about a lot of things have been happening there of late. Of course, we just had the special election, the 25th district, where Katie Hill's seat, the now defunct representative, the Democratic representative there, it looks like her seat is flipped to the Republican Mike Garcia. You're not too far away from there. Can you give us a little insight on what you see is going on there and why? Why did that seat flip red?
Yeah, so, Orange County, and that's up there in Ventura and northwestern LA County. It's on the other side of Metro LA as you're leaving the valley area and going into the coast. And so Orange County and that part, northern San Diego, were all reliably Republican congressional seats for, forever. And the last election, because of the ballot harvesting and some of the other shenanigans that they pull here in California, every one of those congressional districts flipped to the Democrats. And statistically should be impossible. And so there's been a lot of looking at that seat, from if there's any kind of, trend that we can discern from it. And so they recruited a fighter pilot named Mike Garcia. So, I think the Republicans are going to have to make sure that they match the demographics, somebody from a Hispanic background, but also has the conservative values. And most Mexicans do, they live their life as Republicans. I think they just needed to be awakened to the fact. And I think with what's going on with that seat in particular, and how they've been treating people here in the state of California with this pandemic response, he blew them away. Now, one could dismiss that as, Katie Hill, she was kind of a weirdo, and there was a revulsion there, but also in Wisconsin, the Republicans won an open seat as well. And so this might be pandemic fatigue. And, you and I were talking before we got on the show here, is that the Democrats, if they have one quality that they're consistent with, is they always overplay their hand. And this pandemic is the same thing. California, we should have been one of the first states to come out, at least the southern half of the state and the entire eastern counties of the state should have been out of lockdown after 2 weeks. We just did not see the infections. We're not seeing the hospitalizations. We're not seeing the deaths. My mother-in-law lives in a nursing home in Southern California, and they have one coronavirus case that hit the whole facility, and it's a huge facility. And so it just goes to show you that they just did this one size fits all, top down, we're going to control you mentality. But a couple things happened, last couple of weeks. One is Newsom was doing actually a decent job, from as a Democrat, as much credit as I can give him. But he went ahead and he did this double Dutch bus around the beaches opening. So they opened the beaches in Orange County. 70,000 people showed up, just to show you how much people really think of the virus, right? And how powerful they think it is. 70,000 people showed up at these two big beaches, and Newsom shut the beaches down again. There were protests all throughout Orange County, and the sheriffs were saying, we're not going to arrest anybody, we're not going to enforce that law, yada, yada, yada. And then last night, Mayor Garcetti gets out there in the county of LA, which is really city county is kind of one and the same, came out and said, we're going to keep the lockdown to the end of July. Well, people were just throwing up all over that. He was so panicked, he had to run on CNN really fast and tell people, no, that's not really what I meant, and don't panic and don't worry and don't this and don't that. So I think they're getting, I think this thing's going to blow up in their face come the election time. So I'm looking for a lot of this stuff to start rolling off. What I don't know is the damage already done.
Yeah, I believe Garcetti, did he use the word, we're flexible on that 3-month lockdown extension. We're flexible. We're not going to, we're not going to write that in stone kind of thing. But that was rather shocking, that's for sure, and quite extreme. I think everybody was prepared for a lockdown for a few weeks. I mean, we're all fine with that, but this lockdown in perpetuity, just never ending. I mean, you even had that Obama official, I think one of the architects of Obamacare, actually coming out relatively early on. So yeah, we're going to need to be shut down for the next year and a half. I mean, it seems nuts.
Yeah, I think it's part of their plan to basically just demoralize the American people. Look, my view on this, I guess we have to be careful how we say these words now because of so this disease that shall not be named, I think became a political tool. And it's a shame that it's happened. Look, the problem they had was Sweden never shut down. So now we had a control group against the shutdown environment. Then we had some states that never really shut down either, and they never got the outbreaks. And then Georgia and Florida basically decided to open up, and people thought for sure that Florida was going to just turn into another Italy. Well, that didn't happen. So it proved the models wrong. And you and I talked about this last month. It's really the vitamin D belt, right? So anything from basically stretching from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. and south versus north is a tale of two diseases. Mm-hmm. And number two, if you just look at the Northeast, that's 47% of what happened. And if you look at the nursing homes in the Northeast, that's where your problem was.
Right.
And so, I think people figured it out really fast that, these people like being in control. And then also, let's reward ourselves with some federal money, right? And so our joke around Trade Genius is that the vaccination for the virus seems to be stimulus money. Once they get all the money they need, then miraculously this thing will leave stage left.
I like that. Stimulus money as a vaccine. Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely. Well, and along those lines too, you also had the crackdown in Alameda County with Elon Musk pushing back on that one. I guess he has a facility in San Joaquin County, and that's open, that's running. But Alameda County said, no way, you're shut down, you're not opening up. And he revolted. And it seems like they've backed down. It seems like they said, well, as long as you meet the health requirements and the like. So it does seem that we're seeing the emergence of a very interesting kind of political realignment from this, where people like Elon Musk find themselves not fighting the Republicans or Republicans fighting Democrats per se. It seems like it's more and more becoming populists fighting the ruling class, with the Democrats seeming to deliberately wanting to own the label of the ruling class. Republicans seem to be siding with Elon Musk. Look at Trump's tweet just the other day saying he was with Elon Musk. Definitely Alameda County should be opening up at this point. Do you see something like that going on? A bit of a political paradigm shift happening here?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this all started with Trump and with Brexit and with all the games that were going on there. Basically it's the progressives, the globalists, I should say, versus the populists. And now what happens is I tell my family this all the time. I said, things don't matter to people till they matter to people. Mm-hmm. And so it was okay when very few percentages of the population were touched by these crazy rules that these wannabe tyrants, were invoking on people. But then when it became broad-based like this, and it started to get into some other people's pocketbooks in a serious way, that's when this thing blew up. And somebody posted something I saw on social media, and they said, this is probably the end of the progressive movement, because people have been told that elected officials are inefficient to run a government. It's really the unelected bureaucracy, i.e. like how the EU runs things, is the efficient way to go. People who are technically competent and can do informed decision making. Well, we just found out that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and these people, their means justifies the end. So science is meaningless. We had it now with climate change, and now we have it with this this disease outbreak. And people realize that, wait a minute, these people aren't really giving us science. They're basically giving us policy, because that's what funds their power. And I think that's going to blow up. So now we have, I think what we're going to see is a lot of decentralization of power. Really smart move on Trump's part to push it all out to the states. Trump's in a no-lose situation now. He, if things go well, he can say my policies did it. If things go poorly, he said these stupid states and their stupid rules. And what's Fauci talking about? One day we're 2 million are dying. Next thing, don't wear a mask. Next week, if you're going to have sex on Tinder, it's okay to touch. The next week, you never shake hands. I mean, he has these people just continuously contradicting themselves. And I think the American people have figured that out, and they're saying we got to get power out of their hands. So I think that's the big macro takeaway from this. If we can get through this election without any voter fraud, I think we're going to see a massive realignment in the way the American people conduct things. And I'll give you one more example. I have a daughter who, we're obviously a conservative family, we're a Christian family, and when children get exposed to the secular world and they get out into the secular world, you want to be idealistic, you want to get along with your friends, and so you start hearing some more of that reverb back to you about idealism and the good of government and why are we so judgmental of these people, blah, blah, blah. Well, my daughter lost a job she loved. She couldn't go to college with the friend she loves. She's sitting at home, right, doing nothing. And she said, government is stupid, Dad.
Oh, I love music to my ears.
And I said, this is just simply a life lesson. And I just said, and this is the second one she got. When she got her first paycheck, she said, who's stealing money out of my checking account? I said, well, that's what the government takes. So, that's why I think these are important things for people to see. And you point out to people is, look, you want a climate change, Green New Deal? Well, this is what it looks like in terms of your lifestyle. You want to have a government that is going to take care of your needs. Well, this is what it looks like when they feel that they have to really take care of your needs. They will shut you down. And they treat you as if you're just a number and not a person. And they're very one-dimensional, Dr. Steve. So all it is about, we have to solve the pandemic, right? We heard in California that they weren't going to let us open unless there was no deaths for 2 weeks. Okay, well, that's simply absurd. We've never cured a virus before, ever. And so they get one-dimensional, like, well, what about all the unintended consequences? So the people think about those things, and I think those people are going to probably be punished in terms of their career advancement. A lot of guys who thought they'd be president in 4 years can just kiss it goodbye. Newsom, Garcetti, Cuomo. I mean, look at Cuomo. I mean, he has 2,000 or 3,000 people blood on his hands through basically a punitive action he took. Amazing.
It is amazing. And it's amazing how the tables have turned. First it was Biden, he was going to be the savior of the party. Then it was Elizabeth Warren, and then it was Mike Bloomberg, and then it was Sanders, and then it was Biden again, and then it was Cuomo, and that's all you need to know. They're just going all over the place. Then Michelle, and you name it, whoever the flavor of the week is. Now, I was reading, I'll pivot here on this because I was reading some of the comments on your site of your clients who have been actually very doing quite well throughout all of this. And they've been giving you some serious shout outs, really excited about the mentorship that you're providing for them and guiding them through these very volatile times financially in such a way that they can come out ahead. So what is Trade Genius doing here to sort of take advantage of this situation?
Yeah, so what we do is we have a program, we call it the Profit Ribbon System. And what it is, it's a system that looks at a stock price, and it looks at the price action of those stocks, and it looks at the momentum, and it gives buy and sell signals based on the momentum of the stock that you can be in short swing, a couple days to a week or so kind of approach. And it's very reliable signal. And so we win more than we lose, and we win more when we win than when we lose. So it's a system that's designed to grow wealth very well over time. And our process is such that when you come on board with us is that you get access immediately to 12 lessons that we have part of the Profit Ribbon. We teach you how to use the system in the class. So it's 12 classes. They're like 5 to 10 minutes long each, helping you build your chart system up, and then it teaches you how to trade them. But we don't stop there. Once you have that under your belt, you can actually join the trading rooms for stocks, futures, or for cryptocurrency, and participate in the banter and the cross fertilization of ideas that are going on in the trading room. And I'm in those rooms all the time, so people get direct access to me and ask me questions or ask some of the other fellow traders questions who are my partners. And then finally what we do is, we teach you how to fish. We provide you the fishing equipment because we put those signals right on your computer so you can trade things that beyond what we trade. And then we also provide trade signals to you as well. So I sent you some charts, just some of the trades we took today. We knew based on the way the people were reacting to the market and the price momentum that today was going to be a bad day in the market. So we positioned our subscribers into getting into what we call some short trades, meaning that they go up as the stock market goes down. And they were superbly positioned and had some really nice wins today and took profit on those today. And so that's what we do. And we provided those signals straight out for people. So, you win 2 or 3% twice a week, that adds up to some really good money over time. And that's what we do. So we're not Lambo guys, we're grind it out, lunch pail. Let's trade, let's make money, get confidence, build a additional channel of income for your family, or if you're retired and you want to, do something constructive with your life in terms of being able to provide additional resources for trips or for the grandkids or whatever, we do that for you. And very reasonably priced our services. And we always discount those to your listeners if they do us the honor of taking advantage of it by Saturday. And we have bundles set up 65% off our normal pricing. And then you can buy anything individually that you want using the May code and get 45 to 50% off things in the store. So that's what we do. Very comprehensive. We've been doing this a long time, and we think we have it dialed in right, and we know the system works. And you're seeing the proof in the pudding right there. Those are unsolicited. They're just in there. I'm not there in the comment section for people to view as they like.
Yeah, they're very, very impressive. I wish I had testimonials like that. I'd be walking around quite proudly. One thing I was interested in here is, you're talking about how do you put it now? When the stock market is going down, you're making money. It's investing in short. How is that? What's the term?
So we work on, we don't short the market per se because it's kind of dangerous. We do what's called inverse ETFs. You know, if anybody will understand what those are. So today we knew one of them is called volatility. We knew when the market goes down, it gets more volatile. So there was a trade set up for that. And then when people want to short the broad market, there's an ETF called SH. And then we know that semiconductors have been extremely overvalued. And so there's one called SOXS. And so we put people into those trades, and all three of them turned out very well.
So you're pointing them to particular ETFs in this sense?
In that sense, yeah. And then when we go long, we're long stocks and we're long ETFs as well. So it's just when you short the market, you're better off going and trading with electric funds transfer.
Because they're flexible, yeah.
ETF.
And then it's as I understand, it's really, I mean, in many respects, it's the timing on that one, right? Because once the market starts going up, you have to get out of that, correct? Am I
right? And what we do is we provide stop losses in case we're wrong, and we provide targets where we think maybe it'll peter out, and then we manage that trade all along. So, like, we were in those trades yesterday, and in the morning when it came out, we already moved the stops up so people could take profit on them if they want. So they were in a no-lose situation today. If they closed it today, they were going to make money regardless. And as they kept going up, they could just move their stop up and continue to make more and more money. So that's how we do it. That's how we help them manage it. And we provide, though, every morning I put a sheet out, basically my accountability sheet, that all our trades are on there. When we bought them, when we sold them, the trades that are active are on there as well. So if there's a trade that's open, they can just reference that and see where we recommended a stop and recommended a target. Ultimately, you're responsible for your trades because I have no idea anybody's individual risk tolerance or capital.
Right.
And so we just do that to make sure people have some protection put on, that you're not out there as a cowboy doing these trades. That's a big no.
Right. Right. And it's also wonderful too, because they have someone like you, who has this excellent overall worldview. You're interpreting all these different current events, and I've mentioned in all of our videos, I think, just the economist is known as the queen of the social sciences. I mean, you have to know anything and everything about society in many respects because it's all affecting the economy. So they've got you there as a mentor to really help you through this. And I know for someone like me, that's I always need that hand held through to wade me through these very confusing economic times. If people wanted to get some more information from you, where could they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can just go to tradelikeagenius.com, or as you mentioned, tradegeniusacademy.com, and you can call us from there. You can sign up directly. You can chat with us. You can email us, and we'd be happy to help you and try to get you on the right path and learn to make money nearly every day in the markets.
It's awesome. We'll have a link down below underneath the video that you can click right and take you straight to that. Bob Kudla, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. You bring a lot of clarity, and you do as well interpret current events in light of conservative trends so that we can live in the present in light of even better things to come. It's nothing better than that. Thanks so much, Bob.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.